930 days. That's how many days it has been since Jason Belmonte won his last singles title, which is the longest drought in his career. When I first read this article, I didn't believe it. But it's true. Jason Belmonte hasn't won a singles title since 2023, making this period the worst he has been bowling in his entire PBA career. But it doesn't really feel like it. His 2025 was actually quite good, looking at the big stats. He averaged 227, second on tour, and was way ahead of everyone after him. Second in top 10 finishes, third in points, and fourth in earnings. He won the doubles tournament and the PBA league in the same season. But the struggles are happening on the singles side. In the 4 shows he made on Fox this year, he went 0-5 and lost by an average of 30 pins. Rarely in these games did he even lead. He performed much better in the PBA Tour finals, but also fell short of the title. This title drought is very reminiscent of 2016. Jason was dominating the PBA with back-to-back-to-back Player of the Year titles, and expectations were high. But in 2016, while he made several shows, he also couldn't win a single title.
He can't beat me!
Critics attributed this to two-handed bowling and claimed his career was already over. But in 2017, Belmonte had one of the greatest comeback seasons of all time. He won 3 majors in 1 year, which was never done before. With another title on top of that, he won Player of the Year by a landslide. Doubts came back in 2020 though. He also made several shows, but lost every single match he had by an average of 60 pins, barely able to crack 180. But once again, he bounced back and finished with a historic season, winning 2 majors and completing the Super Slam. But now it's 2025. He hopes to repeat yet another comeback, but there's one huge difference: age. In all sports, the one opponent that you can never beat is Father Time. Luckily for Jason, bowlers tend to have longer careers than other sports, but it's safe to say that Belmo is past his prime. Here's the top 9 bowlers in PBA history and the amount of majors each of them have won. And here's Jason Belmonte. Even starting his career relatively late, he exploded past everyone else so quickly. But his goal is 20 majors.
I'm very capable of winning 20, and then I can stay in Australia and call it a day.
Looking at other bowlers, it is very possible to win majors at the age Belmonte is right now. But with Belmo being the first to do this with a two-handed delivery, there are legitimate questions on if this is doable. To see if it is, I wanted to look over his 5 losses this year to see what he needs to do for a bounce-back season, starting with the closest match against his rival, EJ Tackett. Their first matchup is in the Viper Championship, and Belmo is starting with the IQ Tour 78 urethane. First shot's a bit high, but it still strikes. Meanwhile, EJ is using the Venom Shock, a weaker solid ball. He's also playing a much deeper angle than Belmo. First shot looks quite good, and the second shot's not too bad either. A bit high, but trip 4. On the right lane, Belmo is still looking pretty good and strikes, but on the left lane, he has to crack that high shot. To do so, he moves a very slight amount left, and that's enough for a flush strike. Tackett does something pretty similar. On the right lane, throws a pretty good shot. On the left lane, to correct his high shot, moves a bit left, and that does the trick as well. Belmo then keeps this match perfect with another strike on the right lane, but on the left lane, he makes a crucial mistake, missing a lot right and leaving this pretty big spare. He does make it, but that leaves a huge opening when the lanes seem pretty forgiving. Here, EJ takes full advantage. On the right lane, aces another perfect shot. On the left lane, there was also a pretty good shot, but leaves a 7-pin. Here's where Belmo has to capitalize and start striking again. On these lanes, it seems like the bowlers are moving slightly left each shot, but Belmo moves a bit too much left here, causing this ball to go quite light and leaving a flat 10. But the more important shot is on his left lane, where he just made a huge miss and needs to come back. But he makes a similar mistake. He moves left a little bit, which is fine, but he shot his ball out way too much. Even though he thought it might be good, it had no chance of coming back. The urethane was just burning up too much and not giving consistent ball reaction. Meanwhile, EJ throws not the best shots, but his great ball reaction carries 2 strikes. Knowing that urethane was not good, Jason switches to the Hustle X-Ray, a weak solid ball. This time ball reaction's much better, and instead of leaving a flat 10, he kicks out that 10-pin. He's still a bit lost on his left lane, but you see this ball reaction just looking a lot better with the ball change he made, even though he missed. Tackett already had right ball in his hand the whole time. So with 2 more solid shots, he easily wins this game. Staying with urethane for too long cost Jason Belmonte good ball reaction and the match, but he had a chance for redemption at the World Championships title match. This match was played on a longer 43-foot Anthony pattern. Belmo is using an attention star, a strong asim pearl. His first shot's a bit light, but gets a nice mixer. EJ's using an Evoke Hysteria, also an asim pearl. His shot on the right lane is perfect flush, and on the left lane he gets also a bit light, but still strikes here. Belmo's shot on the right lane is also good, bit light, but does manage to get the 10 out. But he really has to correct that light shot on the left lane. To do this, he moves a bit left and throws the ball slower. It was a good idea and the shot is closer, but the ball just doesn't have enough drive and leaves a 10-pin again. Meanwhile, EJ's ball reaction is so much better. Both of these shots are flush in the pocket and drive really well through the pins. Belmo needs a solid shot on his left lane to stay in it, but misses left a ton. Thankfully, it's just a 4-pin. On the left lane, Belmo has another go to try to hit the pocket flush. He moves even deeper left, which I think causes this ball to go even more light. Luckily, he does mix up a strike though, but ball reaction is still not as good as EJ's. Here, EJ gives him a huge gift. This ball's online, but is too slow, causing it to drive too much and leave a split, giving EJ his first open frame. On the left lane, he is able to strike, but now Belmo has a chance to take the lead. Belmo tries once again to go deeper in the lane, to try to create a bit more angle, but his ball speed is too fast here. And once again, the ball doesn't come back and he gets a split. His left lane shot is better. He keeps the ball a bit slower and moves a tiny bit right. The ball still goes light, but he gets another mixer strike. Here's where EJ shows he's on a different level. After a split, he makes a bone move jumping a good amount left to make sure the ball doesn't go high. The adjustment was perfect and he gets another strike. On the left lane, he never struggled, so he's in a really good position right now. After 2 bad shots in the right lane, Belmo actually makes a pretty good move, a pretty big jump left and throwing the ball much slower. That gives the ball enough drive through the pins, giving Belmo his best strike of the match. You can also see a pretty similar move in the left lane, jumping left and throwing the ball a good amount slower. And even though he missed, you can see how that ball reaction allows for much better pin carry. But it's a bit too late. EJ already figured out both lanes a while ago, and with just a few solid shots, he easily wins this match. Belmo just didn't adjust fast enough, especially on the right lane, which really prevented him from stringing up strikes. But he had another shot at a major at the Players' Championship against Kevin McCune, which was played on the medium length Carter pattern. Belmo was using the Typhoon, asymmetric pearl ball, and throwing the ball much faster on this pattern. His first shot on the left lane actually looks quite good. Kevin McCune's using a phase 2, a stronger symmetrical solid, and is also throwing the ball pretty fast. Both of his shots go pretty light though, on the right leaving a 10 pin, and on the left getting a mixer. Belmo then throws 2 pretty good shots. On the right lane, it does go a bit light though, so it leaves a 10 pin, with a messenger just missing the pin. On the left lane, I think he misses a bit right, so the ball is a bit slower to come back. It's still a really good shot, but again goes light, and the messenger doesn't hit the 10 pin. To account for his light shots, Kevin McCune moves right a little bit, and moves his breakpoint more in, that way the ball is closer to the pocket. This adjustment was pretty good, and he gets a flush strike on both lanes. On the right lane, I don't think Belmo made any adjustment even though his last shot went light. This shot is better, but goes light again and leaves a 10 pin. The ball is just going way too much outside, and taking too long to get to the pocket, and never properly driving through the pins. After that many 10 pins, he switches to the hustle rip on the left lane. This time, a symmetric solid ball, but he doesn't throw it too well, and he gets a split. Meanwhile, Kevin's doing pretty good, but on the left lane he has pretty similar issues with leaving that 10 pin. Belmo's next shot of this ball change goes as bad as you could imagine. It never hooks the whole time, and leaves a tough spare. Even worse, Belmo's using the same ball to spare it, which I don't think is a good idea because he's kinda lost on this lane, leading to him missing this pretty easy spare. The ball reacts a bit better on the left lane, getting his messenger finally, but he's still down way too much. All Kevin needs is a few decent shots to take this win. Belmo's next 2 shots were pretty good though. He moves a bit right to make sure the ball actually hooks when it gets to the breakpoint, and throws 2 really good shots to keep him in it. But McCune does something pretty similar, carries that 10 pin twice with 2 flush strikes, and this game is over. But Belmo's last shot at a big title would be at the PBA playoffs against Chris Vi. This was played on a shorter bat pattern on the left lane and a longer Hardwick pattern on the right lane. Jason's using an IQ Tour 78 urethane on the left lane and throws a pretty good shot. On the right lane, Chris Vi is using an Attention Star S2, a hybrid ASIM, and also throws a pretty good shot. On the left lane, he's also using the IQ Tour 78U, but this ball goes really high, leaving this split. On the right lane, Belmo is using a Rockstar, a stronger solid symmetrical ball, and this ball also goes quite high. The left lane though is no problem for him. Chris also follows suit and goes high on the right lane. On the left lane though, Chris adjusts by sending out the ball a bit more right, which gives the ball more time to get to the pocket and results in a better shot. Here, Belmo is finally leading and really needs to capitalize on this lead. His last shot on the right lane went high, so he moves a bit left here. But this was an under-adjustment because his ball actually went really high. He probably should have moved a lot more. As a result, he left this split and could not pick it up. On the left lane, his ball does go light, but this mixing strike saves him. On the right lane, Chris capitalizes on Belmo's mistake. He moves a good amount left, which turned his high shot into a flush strike. On the left lane, he also moves left a little bit, maybe to stay ahead of transition, but this causes the ball to go a bit light and leave a 10 pin. Belmo's next shot on the right lane is much better. Instead of moving more left, he opts to throw the ball faster, giving the ball less time to hook. This works, and this ball actually hits the pocket, even going a bit light for a strike. On the left lane, he continues to execute well and gets another strike, putting him in the lead again. Chris then throws a perfect shot on the right lane, but on the left lane I think he makes a mistake again. He stays too far left, and the ball speed is also a bit high, causing the ball to leave a 10 pin again. At this point, this game should be all but over. But Belmo misses quite a bit in on his shot, and the ball goes really high again. He is lucky to make the spare though. On the left lane, he is a bit less lucky. His ball hooks a bit too much, leaving a 9 pin on this shot. Now Chris can lock up this game. On the right lane, he's pretty confident, so there's no worry here. But on the left lane, it really matters if he can trip out this 10 pin. On his next shot, I think he slows down the ball speed a bit better, helping the ball hook just a bit more and carrying that 10 pin. And in the next 2 shots, he does this even better, getting 2 more flush strikes. what should have been a win for Belmo was stolen by some excellent shot making from Chris. With Vi striking out on both lanes, he has a huge advantage going into this next match. Meanwhile, Belmo was pretty lost in his right lane. He tries a couple different balls, like the Tor Dynam X and Identity, but being too slow to adjust on this lane caused him to lose by a wide margin in the second game as well. Jason Belmonte is still very good, there's no doubt about it, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement in his bowling from this season. I think he says it best.
I think I'm still number one, and then the realization of you're not, but get it back.